really happy and really pleased for our seniors to get a chance to play football this fall and to be able to finish up in Mackey with a victory. It was really a great group of guys. It was a really hard fought game, uh, really efficient game by the offenses in both games, and a much different game than the week before. And we figured it would be, and we prepared for a much different game. No, I just really proud of how our kids continue to fight all the way through, make the plays they needed to make in the second half. I thought Carson was outstanding in the game. Um, and he had a couple miscues, but he really made some tremendous throws and spread the ball around to his teammates. Really impressed with our freshmen on offense. Jacob Gardner at left tackle continues to play at a high level for a true freshman. And what can you say about Torrey Horton? Torrey, uh, started last week against Hawaii and then came in this week and just played outstanding. Just really mature beyond his years. Was able to stretch the defense and do some things that we've been hoping that we could get from somebody on the other side of Romeo. And so just really pleased with the way those kids performed. Defensively, I thought we fought hard. We did a lot of things we could have done better. Obviously, we want to get off the field. And so, we had a couple key players out, Elijah Muhammad and and Don Peterson. Don played sparingly, and we just got to do a better job with our communication and getting people in the right position. When you have backup players in there, and so anticipate that we're going to bounce back and play much better. Really pleased with our special teams as well. Our special teams did some really good things in the game. And so we'll just continue to work and get better. We're at week 8, which is it's gone very fast this season. And from the beginning, we said it was going to be a sprint. And we got San Jose State this week. We're playing in Las Vegas again. And we're looking forward to the challenge. They're playing very well. And they're being very efficient on offense. They played really, really good, sound defense, and they're playing well on special teams. So should be a great game. We're really looking forward to playing on Friday night. And this time of year, you practice so much. You've been in such a routine. You kind of want to get to the games. And so, I think it's a good thing we get to play Friday night. And again, we're going to be down in Sam Boyd. So we're looking forward to it. Should be a great divisional game. And we're looking forward to playing game number 8 here. The season's gone very quick. And, we're still working as a team. We're still working very hard to play our best game, and we haven't done that yet.
And with that, we'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Coach, from an overall standpoint, just being able to bounce back and making sure that one loss didn't become 2, and now, you still have hopes of making a Mountain West title game. How important was that to get that win?
I mean, it's always important to win. I mean, I said this before, we want to win all the games. I mean, it was important, whenever you have some adversity and, play as well as you can, it's important that you bounce back. And our guys do that. We got good character on this team. We got good leadership. And I really have been impressed and proud of our captains and our seniors. I think they've done a great job of leading this team with all the things that we've had to do this off season, with all the things we've had to do with the protocols, with the COVID. I'm just very, very proud of the leaders on this team and the examples that they've shown. And we've had a history of doing that. We've had a history of bouncing back once we've if we had a loss, and I think that's an important quality of this team.
Obviously, this is not an overnight thing to get to this point. In the past several years, it's taken, it seems like, that long to get to this point. What has gotten you, do you feel, from point A to now point B, where you're at right now, where you're playing meaningful games in December?
I mean, it's just hard work and diligence. It's no rocket science. I mean, we recruited good players and we developed players. I mean, that's what our job is in building a program. And you know, we have a philosophy and we've stuck to it. And we've recruited good high school kids. We built this program on good high school kids. We didn't want to have a bunch of transfers and a bunch of kids that came from two-year colleges, even though there's good players from that. You know, we wanted to build the character of our team. We wanted to understand the culture. And, you know, we're in a good place right now. We've got a lot of kids that know what we want, that have been through our system, that know what to do. And, you know, I dance to work every day. I love being with my team. We got really good players and they do what we ask them to do. And they're fun to coach. And so, you know, I'm very pleased with where we are. We're still very young. You know, we got two true freshmen. I can't remember the last time I had two true freshmen starting on offense, probably last year, I guess. But anyway, you know, we still have a lot of young players that are just learning how to play. I mean, Torrey Horton has grown immensely in just the last 6 weeks. You know, he's really matured. He's really improved. And that's what's so fun, is to see these guys get better. And like I said, you know, our goal is to play our best. We haven't done it yet. And so we get another opportunity this week.
I think last time we talked last week, I think we were all under the assumption you guys controlled your destiny. And if you won 2 games, you'd be in. You know, sounds like that math has changed and you would need Boise State also to win. What are your thoughts just on the situation you guys are in with the tiebreakers? You know,
if you could figure them out, Chris, you just give me a call. No, to be honest, I don't even really care to address it. I don't. You know, at the beginning of this year, we just wanted to play games and, you know, we got that wish. The system is far from perfect, And it is what it is. So, you know, we've been fortunate. You know, I think we've been one of the teams that hasn't had to pause play. And I really think, you know, there's a lot of factors that go into that, but I do have to say, I'm very proud of everybody in our program, our players and our medical staff. And, you know, everybody's working hard to do the right thing. And I think that matters. You know, the other thing, Chris, and I'm going to say this because I told my team this, you know, you look around the country, there's a lot of teams that don't want to play right now. There's a lot of teams that had opportunities to play when their games were paused and they chose not to play. And I think that's wrong, personally. We worked really hard to give teams a chance to play and to compete. I respect San Diego State. San Diego State had an opportunity to play when they were paused and they went and played Colorado. You know, if we would have been paused and we had a chance to play Stanford or somebody like that, I guarantee you we'd play them. Our kids would crawl all over me. If my kids found out that we didn't play when we had a chance to play, they would be really upset with me. And as competitors, I think we owe that to our teams to do that. It's not everybody does that. So you guys do your research and figure that out. But you know, I think it's important that we play. You know, we're football coaches, we're a football team, and it's our job to play and compete. And we get an opportunity Friday night. I don't know what the implications mean. I haven't figured it out. They've tried to explain it to me. All I know is that we get a chance to play Friday and, you know, we get the chance to finish this 8-game schedule out and do the very best we can.
Looking at Carson Strong's 247 profile, he was ranked as the 76th rated pro-style quarterback in his class, and now probably not 7 or 6 better quarterbacks in the country outside of him. What did you guys see in him that told you he could be this good?
No, we just, we have a profile, what we look for in a quarterback. We love guys that are really intelligent and accurate. Those are the two qualities that we want, number one. And the other quality we look for is super competitive personality. And Carson's very intelligent. He's very accurate as a passer, and he's super competitive. He's been with us for a while, but his freshman year when he was redshirted, he used to call me every Friday night and tell me he was ready to play. He's like, "Coach, if you need me, I'm ready." And back when Ty was a starter, but he's really competitive. He loves to play. He was upset with himself after the game. I was standing next to him in the fourth quarter, and he said, we could have threw for 500 yards a night if I would have made a couple more throws. And I said, you're right. And it's why you go back to work and try to get better. But he's a great kid. He's got a really good stature. He's about 6'4", and he's a very good player. And he's, to his credit, he's really studied the game this year. He's really understanding protections. He understands coverages. He knows how he can affect coverage with his eyes, and he's doing some things at a very high level that young players don't do. So we'll just keep pushing him and challenging him. And the other part of that, with Carson's success has been really the play of our offensive line. Our offensive line has been really outstanding, and everybody's benefited from that. But he had all those qualities, and I think that's that position. A lot of people really don't know how to look for a quarterback or evaluate a quarterback, and we have very specific qualities that we look for. And Carson, he's one of the first guys that we brought in at the position, high school kids. So
when you look at your opponent coming up this Friday, just how impressed are you with what they've been able to do with their program? Because as you well know, 2 years ago, this team was just 1-11.
No, they've done a really good job. They've gotten better every year, and they have the similar situation as us. They've got the kids that they've recruited and they've developed, and they've got 7 returning starters on defense. They do a very good job offensively, being efficient, throwing the ball around, running the ball effectively, and they just play good, sound football, and they play hard, and so it's been impressive to see them play this year. I talked to Brent couple days ago. We talked on the phone, and I just told him I've enjoyed watching them play, and they've competed hard. So good things happen when you work with the same kids and you develop them over time. They get better and they improve, and San Jose State's a great example of that.
And when you look at them on film, where do you feel they've made the biggest leap in when you look at them?
I think it's fairly consistent across the board. They're playing very well in all 3 phases of the game. Their defense has been very consistent this fall. That I think they're averaging in the teens, giving up points. They don't give up a lot of big plays. They don't get out of position very often on defense. Very, very well coached, sound. Offensively, they got a good scheme. They throw the ball around. They spread it out to the receivers. They do a good job in that regard, and play a couple different quarterbacks. But they're also playing really, really well on special teams. And when teams have a good record, that's usually a reflection that they're playing very well in all 3 phases. And so they've done a good job. They've done a good job in every area of their program.
You mentioned talking with Coach Brennan. Is that something you typically do throughout the season, or are you guys,
No, we were trying to figure out where we were going to play. So we got him on the phone and we talked a little bit about it. And there were some conversation and maybe coming here and playing, and, we do that in the conference. We communicate with one another. I mean, our head coaches spend quite a bit of time together, so it's not unusual to pick up the phone and call somebody in the conference. But yeah, this has been an unusual year. We weren't quite sure where this game was going to be at. And so, they were able to get it worked out in Vegas. One of the options was to possibly play it here. So I'm just glad they got it worked out and we got a place to play and that they can play. So, to get our games in was very important. To play 8 games was really important to our program and to our kids. And I'm glad we're going to get that opportunity.
Coach, you mentioned a couple times after Saturday night's game that it was wild, especially the second half, and both teams were trading some punches, but then a couple miscues. The fact that you guys came out on top, essentially responded to all the wildness. Is that something you're proud of and that you can put in the bank, that this team can respond?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're kind of used to playing wild games, to be honest with you. I mean, we practice a lot like that. And we've been in a lot of games where, you have to make plays down the stretch, and whether it's a 2-minute drill or whatever. And I think our kids feel comfortable in those kind of games, which is great because, usually your most important games are games that you have to play really well situationally. So, no, but our kids, we've got a history of responding, in the time that I've been here. There's been several occasions where our guys have responded and in a good way. And I have every confidence that they will. And especially this group of seniors, when you got guys like Sam Hammond and Jermaine Ledbetter has been amazing. He's had an amazing season. He's had a total transformation as a player. Aaron Frost is playing probably at a very, very high level from a lot of players that I've seen in this league. And those guys have really taken great pride in that union. And, when you have leadership in the trenches in your offense and defensive line, guys like Sam Hammond and Don Peterson and Jermaine Ledbetter, Aaron Frost, boy, you got some soul in your team. You got some backbone, and those guys just keep pushing everybody else. And, with Carson just won't let everybody get down. He won't let his teammates not stay focused. And that type of leadership is kind of unique, and very, very proud of those guys. And, and you see it in the way that our guys respond and don't stay down. So, we got to do it again this week. Every week's a different challenge, and this will be another good one.
You've talked about your 3 amigos a little bit. Cole was the last of those 3 to blossom. How much has moving him to tight end helped, and what do you think's been the biggest reason he's made the leap this year?
No, I was telling Coach Chang, I was kind of kicking myself. I might have been a year late on that one, moving him. But, he's been a late developer physically, in that he's kind of just now growing into his body. And he just is such a weapon in the middle of the field. And, when you have the combination of him in the middle of the field and Romeo outside, and then you got a guy like Torrey Horton on the other side, it just really makes it difficult coverage-wise for teams to load up in anywhere in the area. And that's really the hope that we can place playmakers all over the field and give a really talented quarterback options. And when that happens, now you just make it very tough on the defense to cover. And, he's a unique guy. I mean, we moved him outside a little bit in the last game and moved Romeo inside, and he's out there running. He knows all the wide receiver routes. He's a former wide receiver. So he can do all those things, and he just jumps right in like he's not missing a beat. And, that crew of kids is really intelligent. I mean, we can move them anywhere. They can play any spots. And that's a lot of fun when you have that kind of flexibility. And they're disciplined kids, and that allows us to be a little bit creative with them and put them in different situations. You know, we move him outside as a wide receiver in the red zone. He's been a tough guy to handle down there. And so we'll continue to use him in every way and really utilize his talents. And I think, Carson's really getting comfortable with him in different situations, and that should only improve his effectiveness.
Coach, how important is it to stress to the guys, I know you preach, taking each game one at a time, each week one at a time, but especially this week, just given where you're at in the season, and to have them just focusing on Friday night?
No, that's a great question, Shannon. And the big thing is that since this COVID started, we've just taken the attitude that, hey, let's keep our focus short term. Let's look at the challenges of the week, and let's not worry about the rest of it. And so, there's really not a whole lot we can do except go out and prepare to play our best. And when you start worrying or being concerned about anything else, it's really wasted energy and emotion. So we've tried to do that. It's served us well on the most part. And we'll just continue to do that, try to stay healthy every day, prepare as well as we can for this game, practice well, and get ourselves ready to play Friday night. And that's important. It's important that we play this season, these 8 games, as well as we can, and be great to finish on a high note on Friday.
You mentioned EJ Muhammad. Was he out with an injury last game, or was it something else?
Yeah, he was under concussion protocol, and those things are tricky. You never quite know when they're gonna release them. So there was an opportunity that he could play, but it didn't work through with the protocol. But he's cleared to practice today, and he was out on the field, and I anticipate him being ready for this Friday.
I know Dom tried to gut out a few plays, but I guess, do you think he'll be close to 100%, or is this just something where he's going to have to deal with?
It's hard to really predict. I really thought he would play. I knew he wasn't 100% last week, but I think he'll be better this week. And he'll have a few more days to heal up, and he'll play more than he did last week. I don't know how much more, but I think it would be pretty hard to keep him out of this game.
Even without him, you guys put a pretty good pass rush on Haener. I think only 2 sacks, but he was running all over the place. How much has Jackie Shipp's addition really helped? I mean, your guys' defensive front, because you're even doing it with a bunch of guys who were, a tight end last year with Daniel, or Amir Johnson, who was a center. Like, these aren't, Sam Hammond was a walk-on. These are like blue chip guys that you're doing a pretty good job up front.
No, I mean, Jackie's done an amazing job, and we take a lot of pride in developing guys, but you're absolutely right. I mean, last game, Dom was out of there. We had Zach Mahana, who's a former walk-on, and Amir Johnson. They were the starting tackles in there. And then you had Daniel Grishik was in there as a third down pass rusher, along with Sam and Cam Toomer. But yeah, and we need to play a lot of guys. So we like to rotate, D linemen and keep them fresh. And we did get good pressure on the quarterback. When you play a guy like Haener, it's really important that you keep that guy in the pocket. And so that's a challenge with that guy. I mean, he's a slippery, good quarterback. But they did do a good job. But you got to give Coach Shipp credit with those guys and developing those players. He's meticulous. I've watched him coach for a lot of years. Jackie and I coached together at Oklahoma for a long time, and I saw him every day. I mean, he coaches every step those kids take, and very demanding, but an excellent technician and great coach.
So you guys able to bounce back from that loss to Hawaii? How important was it just to get that win so that you can be in this position and still have a possibility in the Mountain West title game?
Oh, definitely important. You know, every game we go into is, going to be like how we said at the beginning when we played Wyoming, championship mindset for every game. So, it was very unfortunate we didn't get to walk away from Hawaii with the dub, but we came back, bounced back, played together as a group. We executed and came out with a W.
I know every week is different, but today at practice, did the mood feel a little bit different with what's coming up this week? And just, I guess if I was in your shoes, this amount of excitement that you got going on.
Definitely. I'd say it was a lot more silent at practice, I'd say. A lot of guys just more attentive. They're more hearing, they're more listening, at practice, and more just, okay, we're locked in now. The groove was there. Guys look great, look healthy. Everybody was running well, so I'm excited for this week.
Obviously, a running back success depends in part on the offensive line. Where has your union gotten better year over year?
I think we just got together. We got better by just coming together, playing as an actual group now. We're not divided as, we're the running backs, they're the linemen. Now we're just an offense running together. We're just, moving together. There's schemes that they put together. Coach Bess has with them. Guys he got those boys right. So, I'm having a lot of fun running behind those guys this year.
And how much has the improved passing game changed the boxes and looks that you're looking at?
Oh man, those guys, Romeo and Cole, and even Torrey now, man. Torrey getting his name out there a little bit. Lockhart, all those guys, man. They open up the box so well for me. They make my job a lot more easier when you got those safeties dropping back, those nickels out the box, and even those linebackers just dropping down. Forgetting about us, me and Tay and Avery, and all of us backs as a group. They tend to forget about us sometimes, so it leaves those boxes wide open for us, man. I love those looks, and those guys do a great job out there at that wide receiver position. Making those boxes possible.
They said on one of the broadcasts you became a dad during the season. So how have you balanced being a dad, being a student, and being a football player all at the same time?
Man, it's been definitely challenging. I've had a few challenges with sleep, definitely, these past couple of weeks. So just trying to find a routine, just trying to stick to a routine that I like. I'm actually in another bedroom right now. We have a little guest bedroom in our house, so I get to sleep in here, use as my little hotel room while my lady gets right inside our room with the baby. I get to get some sleep. So I got a little routine going right now, but it's definitely been a little bit challenging, but I love it.
I was gonna say, what's been your favorite thing about becoming a dad, and how has it kind of changed your perspective on life?
My favorite thing about being a dad is man, I don't really know too much about that has changed so much so far, but I do know that I look at life so much more differently now. Just being able to, look at my own and have my little one right here next to me and be able to watch him grow already has been life-changing and very humbling. And I'm excited for this new journey.
Your parents are in town, right? They moved here last year, so that's got to help with the babysitting and stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When I go out to practice and my lady needs some time, drop them off right there. Grandma's right there to watch them.
So San Jose State's obviously turned things around a little bit. When you look at them, do you have to look at them kind of differently? Like, okay, these guys kind of were the doormat and now they're definitely not. And how does that change your approach? And then part B, what have you seen from them this year? Why are they better?
They were a young team just like us when I came in. They've always been a hard-fought battle team every single time we played them, very physical on the defensive side, and I think those guys had a lot of time to, grow together and work together as a unit, and it shows, man. They're a great team, and they put together a great season this year. And I'm looking forward to play those guys, man. A very physical asset team. So, it should be a fun one this year.
Joe, it's the 10-year anniversary of the 2010 team that your brother was a star on. What do you remember about the 2010 team?
Oh man, 2010 team was just different. You know, those guys full of stars and full of humble guys. You know, those guys all played together. You know, they were all like, friends off the field. They were, their togethership was so tight, and that bond they had helped them, when they were on the field, and if they were down, helped them fight through adversity together. But man, yeah, that team was just a different style team. I remember being a kid, being around all those guys: Kaepernick, Duke Williams, Dante Moak. My brother, all these guys, John Bender. Virgil Green. I can name the whole list, but all those guys brought a different type of a game and a different type of style, and they are all leaders. That's one thing you can say about that team, is that there wasn't just 4 captains. All those guys on that team were leaders, and they all led in their own way.
And you guys could be the next team since then to win a conference championship. What would it mean to you and this program to be able to return Nevada to those heights?
It would mean the world. It's something that I definitely came in as a goal from freshman year to now, something that we've all talked about and worked for, from the cold winters in the snow, rolling around there with Simmons, to, running in 100-degree weather, gassers out there with him, all the work that we have put in, it's something that we've always worked to and wanted to work for. So, coming out with the Mountain West Championship this year would be, everything that we've had on plan.
And so
anything else at this time? Okay, go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah. So with the unique, strange, I guess, tiebreakers the Mountain West presents, even if you do beat San Jose State, there's still a chance that you might not make a Mountain West title game. Even with that being said, how important is it, if that should happen, to end the regular season on a high note, regardless of what transpires with Boise State and Wyoming?
No, yeah, we've been hearing a lot of stuff about that, but right now our main focus is San Jose, and focus on those guys right now, coming up with a win against those guys. So that's where our main attention is right now. And whatever happens after that, is out of our control. So we're just gonna focus on what we can control right now.
What did that honor mean to you, Brandon? Obviously, you want to potentially win the award, but just being mentioned among the best kickers in college.
It's definitely an honor, especially to do it for a second year in a row, because a big thing for me this year was to be able to repeat last year and not just be the kind of guy who they're like look at as, oh, it's just kind of a fluke 1 year type thing. He's just going to be good. Like, my goal was to show that I'm not just the guy that could do it 1 year. I'm consistent. I can do it multiple years in a row. But it definitely is a big honor to be on that list with all those big names. So I'm definitely appreciative of it.
What has been the key to your consistency? Obviously you got one job, and that's to make kicks, and you've done it really, really well without any major blips.
The key to being consistent in my eyes is having a routine, doing the same things over and over again. There are still some things in my routine, my steps and things like that I'd like to clean up within the next few years to become a little more consistent in that aspect of things. But it's definitely having a routine is the way to be the most consistent. Doing the same thing over and over and over again will help you with the muscle memory and keep that going.
Brandon, coaches trotted you out there for long field goals all throughout the season, 49-yarders, 50-plus yard attempts. What does it mean to you that your coach has this type of confidence in you, even when it's like, late in the fourth quarter and you're attempting a 50-plus yarder, that he's got the confidence to send you out there thinking, hey, this guy's got it?
It means a lot. Earning respect from my team and my coaches is definitely a big one for me. I really appreciate the respect that they have for me to put me out there and trust me that I can get the job done, especially in certain situations when they could have called something else that could have been a little more safer or some things like that. Definitely means a lot that they trusted me that much. So.
You mentioned your routine a little earlier. It seems like you do this little squat thing when you're getting ready to kick. I was curious what that was.
So yeah, that's a part of my little thing that I started when I was here. I didn't do really anything in high school too much. There's some videos out there on YouTube that y'all could probably find if you really were looking around for it. But like, I didn't do any of that stuff, or I don't know what triggered it or what happened when I first got here. It's just kind of something I do that like relaxes me when I get out there. But that's kind of something that's in my routine that can be inconsistent at times because my feet will like move a little bit different, and like an inch can mean the difference. Like if the ball's off an inch, if your feet are off an inch, things like that, like it definitely can like change a lot of things. So you don't want to increase the variables that can happen. But that is just something that kind of like relaxes me. It's something that I just kind of do.
Brandon, you always talk about, you know, you talk to different players on the team and coach, you always set that goal of winning a conference championship and contending for one. It's got to mean something that, you know, you're at this point, and it's not just talk. It's like, this is legit happening. I mean, how do you feel that you're at this point in the season?
Well, it's honestly, it's went by really, really fast this season. Especially being a shorter season, but it's just flown by for like, it just has gone really fast, probably for all of us, honestly. But being in this situation is really like, you just kind of sit back and look at it like, wow, like we are here, like we have this opportunity to do something great. Like we want to continue to do these things. It's really something awesome to look at. Something that I've always wanted was to win a championship in general, high school, college, anything that I've never done that before. So this would definitely be an honor. And definitely an accomplishment in my life to do this.
Speaking of high school, I'm in the same neck of the woods as Carson Strong. Did you guys ever play against each other? What have you thought about his ascension? He's kind of having a breakthrough year like you did last year.
So his school, his school is probably about 8-10 minutes from mine back home. And we're actually rival high schools. So I go to Vaca High, he goes to Wilsey Wood. Or went to Vaca High, he went to Wilsey Wood, and we were rival high schools. He's obviously a year older than me. I never got to personally play against him because he had to have surgery, and he wasn't able to play. And I didn't start playing football till late in my football career, or late in my high school career. So I never got to actually play against him, but I have met him before. I went up to Nevada when I went to go watch his high school play, and they had like a bye week or something. He went back home to watch. But no, I've never really talked to him in high school. We never really even knew of each other until everyone was talking about him committing to Nevada back home. And then I committed to Nevada as a walk-on back. And then it was just kind of like, we kind of DM'd each other, started texting each other and talking about things. And I was just picking his brain about a few things. And that's how we became to like know each other a little bit better.
Brandon, taking kind of a larger view, you guys have gotten great special teams contributions from all over the place. Your punting is off the charts. Kickoffs have been good. Coverage has been good. And then you see someone like Fresno State ends up with some struggles. So when you compare the two, I mean, is that something you take a lot of pride in, that you guys can point to different players and say, you're a really good special teams player? Is that, how important is that to you?
It's really important to me because I want to have, I don't just want to be like one of the best kickers in the nation. I want to be a part of one of the best specialist group in the nation. I want to have our group be well-rounded. I want to have the best snappers. I want to have the best punters on our specialist group, best kickers, kickoff guys, all that. We definitely hold each other accountable, and we want everyone to be the best that they can be. So then when we come out on Saturdays, that we will perform to the highest ability that we can, and that we'll show everyone that we have been putting in the work on and off the field to do so. But also looking at like Fresno State, they definitely just had an unlucky run with the amount of specialists that they had to perform that game. They did the best that they could, but definitely last year they had a good specialist group. I know their kicker is friends with Julian. I'm friends with him. We DM each other all the time. So they're definitely a good group of guys. They're definitely a good specialist group. So that I was happy to see that they're succeeding up to this point, but obviously things happened and that they couldn't perform against us. So
what are you thinking when they're sending out a wide receiver to kick their extra points? Like, kind of shows how difficult what you guys do is when a non-kicker has to.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that not like obviously everyone can do it, but the fact that he did do as well as he did is props to him, because I mean, it's not easy. I mean, everyone's job is not easy on the field, but it definitely props to them that they could throw out a guy and he just goes out there with confidence, knowing like, hey, I'm going to do the best I can for my team, and this is all I can do. And he did that pretty well. So hats off to him for just going out there and trusting it and doing the best he could.
Has this been a vindicating year for you, as you mentioned, trying to prove not a one-hit wonder, didn't, no flash in the pan, nothing like that in your freshman season to follow it up?
Yeah, that's definitely my main goal of this season, was to show it again. Like I'm just as consistent as I am last year, or even more consistent. I can still hit from distance. I can still do those things. I just didn't have like a fluke last year. Like I just didn't have this one great year, and all of a sudden next thing you know, I'm going to have a slump. I wanted to prove to everyone that I can keep it going, and I'm not just this like one-hit wonder type of guy.
You have a new special teams coordinator, and Coach Sheffield seems like he has a fun personality. How's he helped your group and helped you, if he has anything technically wise?
He's very positive with us. The way he talks to us, he's really, cause he's just a great guy in general. We love his family. His wife and his kids are awesome. They're just kind of like a well-rounded family for sure. He's a family-oriented guy with us. I mean, he loves us. We love him. I trust him. He trusts us to do our job. And I just liked his energy on the sidelines, his energy at practice. Like he'll like look at me after I kick. He'll just give me like a little head nod or a little fist bump and things like that. And it's just like that connection that we have is just a little bit different than most people even have. And most people don't even have a special teams coordinator. So we're very lucky to even have one at the University of Nevada. So I'm very blessed for that.